This game really intrigues me because it's at Arkansas. I was surprised. Are we sure that this is not a neutral site game and being played at Jerry's World?
No, it is. It is in Fayetteville, in Arkansas, which I affectionately call Vietnam. We have not, and I say Fayette because Arkansas fans have this irrational hatred of Texas, which goes back to the Southwestern Conference days.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they still identify Texas as like their number one rival, even though we haven't played in. We played like one random bowl game with Tyrone Swoops, which sure y'all won, but like it's like we haven't really played them other than that since like Vince Young. So but they like hate us like the way Texas A&M or Texas Tech hates us.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because I still don't. I get the rivalry, but I don't get the hate from Texas A&M. I mean, watching Texas A&M, and I don't know how big you guys are on Game of Thrones, but honestly, watching Texas A&M and Texas play is like watching the Battle of the Bastards. You just like, I mean, for what was the point? I mean, I get it, but I don't at the same time. It's just kind of like, okay, because you got one program who's like, okay, we're the pride of Texas, and you got one program that's like, hey, we've won a bunch of national championships, and we were really good. Yeah, before segregation happened, and I'm just like, that doesn't really count in my book. But I'm like,
So the real quick though, but the Texas A&M is fresh and makes sense because that rivalry ended abruptly. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
ended with them leaving. It was political. It was messy. It's the Longhorn Network. It's all this stuff about Texas not wanting to share the money and them going to the and saying we're in this bigger better thing, but they still have these insecurities and keep looking back at us even though they were the ones that left. And it's messy, right? And so the Texas and we often get into recruiting battles because we're the two largest schools in the state of Texas. Money the way we spend money. So it makes sense. The Arkansas, it's like, bro, we haven't seen y'all in like 20.
it's a lot of hate over there. There's a lot of hate over there in Arkansas, and I'm just like, Arkansas, make your rivalry somebody that you know you can possibly beat. I mean, go to OSU, go down to Gundyville and test your luck. Don't come to Texas and Norman with that trash. Nobody cares about you guys. Make Tulsa a rivalry. They're closer to you.
Well, why don't and this is the same thing I tell Arkansas fans and I've already started telling A&M fans. Why don't you put that energy towards LSU and Alabama,
Oh, please.
the actual teams?
Yeah.
Put that energy over there. You Arkansas. From a standpoint, like they allowed North Texas to come into their house and beat
Oh
them with
God.
one of the most ridiculous punt returns I've ever seen in my entire life. And I know y'all remember that. And it's
Yeah.
just like y'all didn't have that Vietnam energy for North Texas, but I know the moment the Longhorns come out, it's going to be all hell, all hands on deck, Seth, of hate towards them boys from Austin. That's their energy. Like their whole everything. Like I honestly feel as though if they don't make it to a bowl, but they beat Texas, Sam Pittman's had a successful season.
Oh
But they
yeah,
could
for
go
sure.
and get blown 58-7 to Alabama, and they'll be like, "Well, it's Bama."
Yeah. No doubt. They would definitely. They'll throw a parade if they can just they get that Texas win.
I
They're
mean,
they're set.
seriously.
The rest of it's gravy.
Sixth Street. So we got Rice. We know that that's a win. So here's what I'm gonna go. I'm going to say Texas goes 2-1 coming after the Rice game is all said and done. Are we agreeing or are we disagreeing?
Man, I I don't know what the line's gonna be when that Arkansas game comes on that week, but I think I'm leaning towards Texas right now for winning that
Fellas,
one. I think
that's a night game.
yeah, but it's. I mean, I I don't know. I feel like there might be some. They might be running with some different juice with Sarkeesian. It'll be their first road game,
Mhm.
under him, and I think they're gonna get him. I think it's gonna be a great game. I feel like he could even have potential to be one of those kind of classics that they replay in the next summer. kind of like it could be one of those kind of games. But I feel like that Texas might find something. Maybe Bijan just goes completely off, and they just can't stop him. Just running it for a first down every touch.
Well, Arkansas is running. I mean, I think that as far as Bijan is concerned, I think that 4-2-6 is going to be friendly to him. We'll see whether they run some different schemes or just something different, or load the box and force Casey Thompson and or Hudson Card to sling that rock around and kind of test their luck with that. But let's all remember that Arkansas is having a quarterback competition as well. I don't know if they
True.
the starter, but they have a competition as well. And I'll say this: you have some highly rated dual threat quarterbacks, but I don't know if they're going to be able to translate that to the this college level and become what I think Sam Pittman would like, since he's an offensive line guy. I think he would rather have a quarterback that can sling that rock if he's going to have the big hog mollies up front taking care of him. I think that he would rather see that. So there's still some question marks about Arkansas. I just see a Saturday night game in Fayetteville and full of a full crowd. I just see that could possibly get to them. I mean, you're running out. Both teams are running out, new quarterbacks. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game goes.
I do want to make one last comment, because you just brought up the crowd, and I think that's such a great point, Chris, because if you think about last year, a lot of the guys, like say guys, and this goes all football, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys who got their first exposure to college football last year, some of them played in either no crowds or half full stadiums. Like they haven't really been in front of that energy like we're seeing now. And I think you're even seeing that you've seen that with some of these guys in the NBA playoffs, where it's just, and you can either that and play over your head, or you can succumb to it. And the way I look at this Texas game, to me, because if I look at the Louisiana game, they should be able, they're at home, it's a home opener, for a new coach. They should be able to channel that in having their own full crowd and be fine. But even against a veteran Louisiana team, Billy Napier, we know the story. This Arkansas game for Texas is the truth serum game. This is the truth serum game, because this is the game where you look at and you say, all right, on the road, Texas man for man has more talent than even debatable. And I'm not trying to sound like arrogant Texas fan right now. The reason why we have nerves is because we're going on the road against in a hostile environment against a team that is just fixated on making their whole season about you, right? And then on top of that, we have all these guys who haven't been in that environment before. So if they can respond to that, but my whole point is we're going to get answers to questions in that particular Arkansas game. And I'm excited for that.
So going from the Rice game, I think